Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. My special guest, Jawan Griffin, is still here with me. We are moving on to this next topic about how Gregg Popovich, he mentioned that he's falling out of love with basketball. The game is so much different now. It's not fun anymore because all people doing now is just shooting threes. It takes the coaching out of basketball. So Jawan, let me hear your thoughts about this, because I got some thoughts as well, but sometimes we might come across the same path. So let me hear what you got to say.
I understand what he's talking about, because I am too.
Really?
I would 100%. Being a player that played in college for a few months, but that's another story. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the same way too. Like, I don't want to watch basketball, NBA basketball no more. It hasn't gotten weaker. It just got more corporate. And you feel me?
Yeah.
And they trying to mix the street ball aspect, but they're not doing it right. Like, it used to mean something for somebody to score 100 points in a game.
Yeah, you're right. I can agree with that.
Now, the bottom of the bottom teams are scoring 100 points with ease. That takes the taste out of my mouth. Like, okay, like, this team should not even score 100 points. Like,
you know what? I can definitely agree with you. I'm gonna go ahead finish. Go ahead finish if you want to. Go ahead.
And it's like, first, okay, why do I want to see why do I want to see something that's it
lacks competitiveness. It lacks competitiveness,
like,
and that's what that's what irks me as someone who's played the game, who's played other sports, and who's always been a fan of these kind of sports. That's what really hurts me is watching the NBA today, and I see this lack of competitiveness because go ahead.
How can you get blown out scoring 100 points? Like, that doesn't even comprehend in my mind. Like,
yeah, you're right. Because you look at a few eras ago, scoring 100 points was a big deal. You get 100 points.
That means you won the game.
Yeah.
They say first one to 100. Like, if you go to 100 first, majority of the night, you're going to win the game. But it's not
you're right.
You have to score, 130?
That's true. For example, I watch the Pistons a lot. But with over like their actually almost every game of the season, win or loss, they have over 100 points. I think it's one game. I think it might be like one game out of the entire season. They didn't have 100 points, and they had 99. It was like it's pretty ridiculous. And for someone who's watched the league change over time, I'm referring to Gregg Popovich now, who he's coached a very long time, and he was coaching in the league when defense was the key concept of winning a game. Now teams can barely play defense and still pull off a game and probably win by 30. Honestly, the way the game is now. So I understand what Gregg Popovich is saying by he's falling out of love with basketball, and everybody's just shooting threes now. People don't even care about certain roles. They're not even really serious about winning now, and that kind of stuff hurts. It definitely hurts the game, and it hurts as someone who watches it.
I want to say 3-point law. Everybody wants to shoot threes now. That's the reason why the NBA scoring is up. It's the officiating and how they implement rules to loosen up the offense and have the defense work way more hard.
That's true.
Like the defense is supposed to be able to the art of defense. You're supposed to control the offense, like to stop the offense from scoring. That's
good defense creates easy offense. That's simple.
Exactly.
And
if you you can't impede somebody's movement. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's gotten to a whole nother level of soft, honestly.
Exactly. Now, instead of me putting bumping him to slow him down, he gets to push me, run around a pick. Now I can't push through the pick, so I have to trail behind him or split or slip it or whatever. Now it's like, what? How can I defend when I can't even touch the guy?
You're right. And look, while you were saying that, and that made me think of something else that's actually a really good example. So you think about like 80s basketball, 90s basketball, and even 2000s. Honestly, You think about when people play defense. You know, hand checking. I can see the hand check rule. Like if you say, you know, we don't want people to hand check anymore. I can see that. I can see that because sometimes back in the day, people it get carried away. You can get carried away, and it makes you use your feet more if you're not putting your hand on him the whole time and all that while he's at the top of the key. So it makes you use your feet even more. So I can understand, you know, taking that hand check rule out. Like if you got your hand on him the whole time, we're gonna call it foul. But now that thing it started off at the top of the key where, you know, if you're pressing, you know, we don't want you to be hand checking, you know, if they're at the 3-point line, don't hand check. It started off there. Now it's starting to even go down into the paint where big boys bang. Like you go to the paint, look, you go amongst trees down there. No matter how tall you are, if you play guard, small forward, center, it's trees down in the paint. That's a big boys game to go down in the paint. And now it's at a point where anybody can go in the paint and just hope for the best. Hope for a foul. And if you think I'm wrong, go look at James Harden. And I understand people might say, well, James, it's an art. Oh, my gosh, it's such an art. The way Harden draws fouls, it's such an art. It's not easy to do. Last time I watched his game, I seen this man flop so much. It was ridiculous. I didn't understand half of the foul calls because some stuff was just ridiculous. I've never seen people get fouled from the 3-point line so much, and the year's not even over. The year's not even over.
But he gets some calls because that's the people want to see.
Fans want to see you score 30 points. They want to see you score 40 points. And a large majority, that's what they want. But I think for guys who've watched the game for a long period of time, I think they want to see the basketball that brawls. I think they want to see that you know, men's basketball. They don't want to see, you know, little, you know, this is a foul, that's a foul. They want to see people compete at a high level and play with physicality.
But like I said before, this is not a weaker. This is not a weak brand of basketball. It's just more corporate now. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, I would say that because the talent is there. The talent is definitely there.
Yeah. This is the most athletic, talent-wise the league has ever been.
Yeah.
Period.
It's up there. Especially you don't see, because then you didn't see freakishly large people who could move this fast. You've seen freakishly large people.
Yeah.
You've seen some huge people.
It wasn't like this.
Yeah, but you didn't see those 7-foot people who can speed through a defense or who can shoot the 3-ball that's good. So it's definitely a fine line of how the game has changed.
It's just like, this is what I think. I think this era of basketball, like the top shelf basketball, like the stuff that everybody can get to, but they can see it. You feel me? Like
yeah.
And like the other generations was in that bottom shelf. Like anybody can like I say, last generation was more skilled on the fundamentals. We're just
okay. Just to clarify, when you say last generation, were you talking about like 2010s or even further back?
20. I'm talking about like
about
2010s and down. Mid about what 2008 and down.
Okay, I can see that.
Around that and down, straight down. They was more traditional, like fundamentally skilled better than we are. Period.
And a large reason for that is because people played defense.
Exactly.
People played defense, and they were more physical. You go to the paint, and you come up to the paint trying to do all that flopping stuff. You was just gonna look like an idiot. Like plain and simple. Like imagine Harden. I think about this a lot. Imagine Harden playing in the era like the 90s, or even I even go up a little bit, like the 2000s era. Imagine Harden playing in the 2000s era.
He would have been an average player.
Yeah, he would have just been a good shooter. I would say that. But
he's no great shooter. He would have been a scorer, an average, but like a bucket getter.
Role player, probably a role player.
Yeah.
Just for the simple fact, he's not the fastest dude. He's not the strongest dude.
But he's strong. No,
he's strong. He's not. Don't get me. He's not weak. I'm not saying he's weak, but he's not the strongest dude. When you look at players back then, those players back then used to lift weights. Them boys used to pump some iron, so they was getting big. It was getting big. So I mean, it could have been a different story for Harden. But if you take the kind of player he is now and throw him in that era, it it's a different story. He would not near be as big as he is today.
Agreed.
Just for the simple fact that, one, people play defense, man. It's that simple, honestly. People play defense. And at this point, go ahead. I'll let you.
You're not exactly at this point. You're not allowed to play aggressive defense at all.
Yeah. You can't play aggressive. The best you can do is help.
Yeah,
that's the best you can do. But if you come up to, usually they say, hands up, hands out, something like that. But
if Patrick Beverly want to play defense like he can play defense, that's like just for him, for example, the way Patrick Beverly play defense is awesome.
That's one reason why I love Patrick Beverly. If I had a team and I had an opportunity to get Patrick Beverly, I would definitely take that opportunity because he plays defense and he applies pressure.
And he wants to guard the top player in this position. He's not shot.
If Pat Beverly was 6'5", if Pat Beverly was like 6'6", 6'7", he would want to guard every single player who thinks they're sweet or is good in the NBA. And that's what I like about that. That's what I like about him.
He's like a smaller version of Tony Allen.
Yeah, I would even say that. And he has that same kind of attitude as owning that. Like Gary Payton, he was a good defender. And he had the attitude like, I'm about to get at you. That was like the attitude he had. Like, I'm about to get at you. You think you're good, but I'm going to get at you. And that's why I like Patrick Beverly, because he had the same kind of attitude.